Hi guys, namaste. Welcome to the fulfillment of one of my resolutions for 2017, which is to make a much bigger difference in 2017 than I did in 2016. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to share with you some of the juicy teachings, some of the best things that I've been working with over the last 10 years or so that I learned from my mentors at the Empowerment Institute, who's affiliated with Omega Institute. And the first lesson is about moving from pathology to vision. So the story with this is that in maybe 40, 50 years ago, the human potential movement really recognized that people were really stuck. Part of the reason they were stuck was because they were afraid of experiencing things that weren't pretty, like resentment or fear or anger. The men felt like they had to be powerful and brave and they couldn't feel fear and pain, and the women had to be nice all the time, and there was this buildup of resentment. They'd been disconnected from their power. So this whole movement came up of expression, including catharsis and freedom of the emotions, and looking at what's like in the underbelly, underneath the rock in our shadow. And a lot of energy was spent and put there, which is really helpful when you're stuck. But if you stay stuck there, it leads to things like self-absorption and actually starts to interfere with our ability to make a difference, which is what we're here for, right? So my mentors developed this idea of moving from pathology to vision. They were really the first people that I know of that started bringing this out about 30 years ago. And it aligns so well with modern positive psychology and the research on neuroscience right now about how we train our brain where to focus. So by training our brain to focus on the vision instead of the pathology, that's where we go. So the idea is that now when we become aware and present with a pain, right, we want to do something about it. We can process it, but another option that we have, if we're ready, is to take that and use it as an impetus to use that pain to impel us forward. But actually, what we need to do first is transform that pain into a vision. You know, I heard someone say once that when something bad happens to us, there's various ways of dealing with it. One is to do the same thing to other people. Another is to make sure the same thing doesn't happen to other people, right? Yeah, and another is to be stuck in that pain ourselves and do neither. So what we want to do is we want to use the suffering in our life as fuel to create greater and bigger and vaster visions on our growing edges. It kind of marks what our growing edge is and see what light we can bring, what light we can grow from that. Not that we seek out the pain, but we're actually seeking out the light, and we get excited about these opportunities. These become opportunities for us to get excited about in order to deepen ourselves and get out of the shallows of life and really move into a deeper and stronger alignment with our souls and with the difference that we're here to make in the world. I remember there's a story of Queen Kunti from the Bhagavatam, the Bhakti tradition of the Vedas, where she actually prayed for more and more calamities, not because she wanted to be indulged in her suffering, but because it caused her to deepen in her devotion and surrender to her higher power and get clearer and purer connection and guidance. And to refine herself from that. So my question for you today is, what is your vision? And I'll give you some tips as to how to find it. The first thing is to really look at where you've been stuck. Just take a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes today, to take stock and write down some areas where you really want to grow, but you really haven't been growing, where there's been kind of that bubble of self-absorption. Maybe you've been lost in resentment or pain, or you've given up. And then take a moment to really look at where those fresh sprouting buds of energy are, where you can find some growth. And look at it in areas of your life among your spirituality, your sexuality, your work, your relationships, your family, your emotions, your emotional life, your interpersonal and intrapersonal life. Just take a look. Everything's up for grabs. And just make a list of some edges where you feel really inspired to move forward this year. and make a difference in your own life and others. So just jot that down today. I'm going to be doing this every day as long as I have internet connection. I'll be traveling through Florida and going to Solstice there for the next 3 days and then going up near Gainesville after that. But I will check every day as long as I have internet. So please make a note down on the Facebook page if you're participating in this. Or on the YouTube channel, and I will check in periodically, and here's to your growth. Cheers. Namaste.